Welcome, everybody, to this new podcast called Crack the Code with Taiyamo Denku, the homie Roman. We are in the house. We're going to talk about a bunch of various topics, various concepts having to do with the video game community, video games themselves. And we figure we just started off with the brand new game that's out there, the Indiana Jones game, right?
Oh yeah.
You said you had already did you dabble into it at all, or have you not even played it yet?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I got a little bit further into it. I'm probably probably in the Egypt area, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be in that little area for quite a minute. You know, I had a couple good little run-ins, stuff like that. Um, I'm just still like my mind is blown on the whole mechanic with the whip. Like that has never been done like that in the game. I don't think I've ever experienced walking around a crate, seeing the bad guys good distance away talking, go around to the other side of the crate and hit that whip, and you can literally snap stuff right out of their hand or hit them in the leg or hit them in the ass, and then you see them go down and they drop, and then they like it confuses them, and then you can go to the other side, whip them again, grab them and pull them. Just the whole pulling mechanism too is just something about that. Man, I just sat there with one guy pulling him into a pole like 6 times just to see his different reaction until finally got knocked out. You know, like if I like, boom, oh, or you pull him in and then you can like take him to a ledge and then kind of rough him up and then just toss him over or just whip him. And that's insane. I honestly didn't expect that like at all from that game. Like I had
Hmm.
no idea it would be that, and that's just for the combat, let alone everything else, was, I think, so far pretty damn impressive, I would say.
Yeah, I think you're at the same area that I'm pretty much in, and I mean, I just got to start out. Uh, this game actually made me go back and watch the very first Raiders of the Lost Ark,
Oh yeah,
uh,
yeah.
just
I
just
want to
be
do that myself.
just because the game starts in that exact sequence, like it's identical sequence, and which I thought was super cool because just the little things that they have you do where you're like breaking the bushes back, breaking the cobwebs off, and then the
Yeah. Oh
spiders
yeah.
are there, getting the spiders off dude's back, like putting your hand in the light, like everything is like so identical. And then you go off to the Vatican, and you're like literally exploring the underground of the Vatican, and that shit to me is just crazy. And then from there, you know, you go to Egypt. The thing that I realized is this game, I don't know why they give you a gun. I mean, last resort maybe, but like, don't ever use the gun in Egypt ever because you will immediately die. You will not be able to kill all the soldiers in Egypt with a gun, even if you pick up one of theirs. So I don't recommend anyone using a gun in Egypt. I mean, I had I had this one lucky fight happen. Um, I think in the captain's quarters in outside of the Vatican, like at the nighttime.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So I was in the captain's quarters and I alerted somebody, and then I didn't have any hand weapons to use. So I just pulled the gun out and I shot this dude, and then all of a sudden I hear them whistling, the alarm goes off, all this shit. And then like I'm in this back room, and each of them just keep coming forward, and I just keep killing them. There's a giant pile of bodies.
You know, real quick though, they in those situations, like I've noticed, like, and this is a lot, I've never seen this in a game before. But the stealth in there, the way they kind of pull it off, like if somebody sees you, they'll be like, "Hey," and then you'll try to diffuse the situation, like, "Oh, I'm just with so and so," or I'm with the group or something. He'll try, but I mean, ultimately, they're still gonna try to catch you, so you got to take them out anyways. But I just thought that was kind of funny that he's like, "Hey, hey," because I don't know, maybe there's a different way to approach it that if you see it, you can fully diffuse the situation. I don't really know. You know, kind of like how Red Dead Redemption 2 has those different options to be able to
Mm.
fully diffuse the situation. But I don't know what that would really matter anyways. You just have to, you get past him, then you got to sneak past the next guy. So, but yeah, the gunplay too, yeah, that seemed kind of weird. I mean, right from the beginning, you see the whip, you know that that's Indiana Jones's thing, and like I haven't even thought about using a gun yet in the game, but
Yeah.
having too
I,
much fun roughing dudes up with the whip.
yeah, I mean, there's that, or I mean, there's so many objects to just
Yeah,
beat the shit out of
yeah,
people with so
yeah, yeah.
many
That
objects.
yeah, that's not even, yeah, the whip isn't even scratching the surface, let alone, I mean, I busted some dude up with a violin, you know, it was nuts, you know, and every little piece until you get to that last shard, you know, and then I was just blown away. I was blown away by that, you know.
Yeah, and the graphics are amazing. I heard it's so obviously Harrison Ford's likeness of a character, but not voice acting.
That's not his voice. I was kind of curious. I wasn't 100%
No,
sure on
there
that, but it
was.
sounds really good. I
It
mean,
does sound very good. I can look it up just so we have a clarification. But Indiana Jones, he gave him the thumbs up for doing the voicing because he definitely nailed it. Um, I don't know if there was, and see that's the thing though. I don't know because now I think we briefly talked about how um now voice AI can be a thing in video games technically. I mean, if he wasn't even able to do it and you wanted a voice actor to come do it that sounds kind of like him, you could use him but then alter it just a little bit more
yeah, exactly.
to get it to sound um exactly like it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's the thing too
Um
is in the last Mortal Kombat, they got Arnold Schwarzenegger to do the voice in that one, and it wasn't him, but I mean, the guy, it's say nailed it, you know, and I don't think they use any kind of filter on the voice or anything like that. The guy just did a really, you know, he did a good job. He sounded pretty much exactly like him, you know.
yeah, that
But
was
yeah, let's
Chris Cox, who I heard is also going to be doing Conan.
Conan.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah,
So it's
perfect.
the same guy that did Arnold in Mortal Kombat 11 that played the
Uh,
Terminator. It's going to be the same voice actor doing Conan the Barbarian, which is the next DLC character. But let's not dive into that yet because I definitely want to talk a lot more about the Mortal Kombat and the situations going on there. But Troy Baker is the voice actor that voices Harrison Ford, and Harrison Ford said, yes, he does really sound like me. So there was no
okay, yeah,
altering, no AI or nothing. So that guy is just a good voice actor and sounds like Harrison Ford. So that's who they got to do the parts. Harrison Ford gave him the thumbs up. And obviously, with the game being a Lucas Arts game, having that franchise, they were obviously able to get the Harrison Ford likeness to create the Indiana Jones character because looks just like him. Also, I mean, shouts to the character design of Marcus Brody. Um, Nailed that design for a character and the voicing because I don't think he's alive anymore. I'm pretty sure he's not. I mean,
yeah,
I
yeah. I
might
thought
be
that.
wrong, but I'm pretty sure that guy's no
Yeah, you're
longer.
talking about Candyman, right?
No, no, no,
I,
no. But that is super dope too. I'm talking
that
about
is the.
I'm talking about Marcus Brody. So like, Harrison Ford's sidekick in the beginning, the old guy.
Oh, oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
my
I don't
fault.
think he's with us anymore. But also the Candyman guy is not with us, and they got to use his likeness, and that's crazy too.
Yeah, it's definitely cool to see that. You know, probably his last, it's probably his last video game appearance. You know, I don't know how many he was in, but I mean, just a legend all around. It's cool to see him make it into a video game. Kind of like I know it's off topic, but how they got the Batman voice actor his last performance in Suicide Squad.
Mm,
Uh, yeah, yeah, that was his last. That was his final performance for the game. It was just cool to see kind of that last goodbye, you know,
yeah.
in their top form in a video game too. I just think that's something that we've never been able to achieve until now. And I'm grateful to be able to experience that in a video game. That's one of the things that make them real, like real, for me, and that's one of the things that's always kept me into them, kept me in tune and stuff like that,
Hmm.
just mentally, creatively, just so many different things. How long have you been playing games?
Oh, since Atari.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
Way, way
Yeah.
back, man. And you want to talk Atari? I mean, I'm talking Pitfall, Tank.
Oh yeah, okay,
You
okay.
know,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
old school shits. Like I had that. I'm not talking Atari Jaguar. I'm talking about
Yeah,
the
yeah.
original Atari
Yeah,
shit. And
that's the
obviously,
first one that I
obviously
played.
I had the Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Nintendo 64. I think my brother had Xbox, the first Xbox series. And I ended up going PlayStation route in
Yeah,
the
same here.
beginning. And then I think I kept going. I got a PS2, PS3, and then when I got a PS3, I also had the Xbox 360. So I had both of those simultaneous. I was buying more games for the PS3 because I was still a PlayStation dude, but I had the Xbox to play Halo with my brother, like online or whatever. So we had
Oh
both
yeah,
of
yeah.
those systems, and then I had this situation happen. I mean, yeah. So my house got broke into, and they took all of this is the weirdest shit ever. It doesn't even make sense. This was a long time ago, but they took all my PlayStation games and left my Xbox games. Took my Xbox and left my PlayStation.
What?
It doesn't
Yeah,
make any sense.
that makes no sense at all.
So
Wow.
when the insurance shit kicked through and came through, I still had the Xbox games that I had, like Gears of War. I got it for Gears of War too. I did get it for Gears of
Oh
War.
yeah, yeah.
Um, and then I had the PS3, and I was like, I don't want to rebuild my PS3 game fucking catalog. So I just went out and got the Xbox One. Like I didn't have a system for a while. I went out and got the Xbox One. Um, and then I just kind of stuck with that and built my catalog of games on that. And then now I got the Xbox XS, X, whatever, the
Series S.
Series S. Yes.
Yeah, Series S.
Yeah, I don't have the black one, but I have the one that looks like the Xbox One, but it's the S series.
Yeah.
Has the 4K capabilities and can play all the XS games and all that shit, which is crazy. Because are you your PlayStation now?
Xbox.
Your Xbox
Yeah.
too? Yeah,
Yeah,
because
I
we
got
get yeah,
PlayStation in the beginning.
yeah, because we follow each other. I don't know why I was thinking that,
Yeah.
but yes,
Yeah, I never even played PS5 yet. I've seen it here and there and stuff like that, but I've never actually had the controller in my hand and played it. Just to me, I've just always had Xbox. I've always loved Xbox, and
yeah,
don't get me wrong, I do love a lot of the first party stuff on PlayStation. God of War, Spider-Man, those are all phenomenal
oh,
games.
they are
But
good.
yeah, all around, it's like I don't necessarily feel that I'm missing out as much because I have just as much of those titles with Gears of War, Forza, Halo, stuff like that. As
Yeah.
well as all the other third-party games are just as good, on that platform. So,
What do you
but
think
yeah,
about
you're
that? What do you think about the exclusive titles that go to both systems? You think
yeah,
that should be a thing, or do you think they should just
I
let it
don't
ride
know.
for both systems?
I kind of think, I'm definitely liking how they're doing the cross play and stuff now, and being a little more friendly with each other that way. But, I don't know. It's a it's a tough call. It really is on that, I mean,
Yeah,
yeah.
because I haven't had a PlayStation since PS3. I don't even know what a PS4 is like, yet alone a PS5. I have no idea what either
Oh,
one
okay.
is like. So like for me, the last God of War game I played was God of War 3. Like
Yeah, yeah. That was a good one too.
I've not even touched any of the other ones. And I never touched Last of Us 2. You know, there's all those exclusive titles that came to PlayStation that I never got to really even play because I'm not gonna buy for two different systems. I'm over that. Like I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
So like now I'm just strictly Xbox shit. I did what you do. Now I have the Game Pass as I got more into having some downtime with the music shit. Gives me a little more time to fuck around with some video games. I've always
You
been a
think it's
gamer, but I kind
you,
of, I wasn't as hardcore crazy as I was when I was younger because I do the music shit on the side. So when I find pockets of time now, that's when I'm able to fuck with the games.
but you see more of the you see the value in it though. Because
Oh,
I saw the
definitely.
value. Yeah, I saw it in it right away. I was like, yeah, I mean, you pay your price for the console and then you pay, the monthly subscription, but you have access to so much that you would never even think to try out,
Yeah.
had you not had that available. That's what always impressed me about it. And I think too, going
Mm-hmm.
forward, with cloud gaming, I definitely think is a good step for them too,
Yes,
just to be
definitely.
able to access. And just the amount of hate that Xbox is getting right now is ridiculous on their ad campaign that this is an Xbox, this is an Xbox, this is an Xbox, because people are trying to say they're going away from their identity when they're actually always had their identity. They're getting it out there even more in ways that people that would have never played an Xbox are playing an Xbox. They don't realize it, and they're like, oh, I can play it on this platform. I can play it here. I can play it, at a hotel on a TV screen on a Samsung TV or whatever. And those apps are working phenomenally. Like game streaming is better today than it was last week. Like every week it just keeps improving. But the thing is that people are worried that, well, they're going to go away from their brand, they're going to go away from exclusivity. They already, the motto Xbox has no games. I'm sure you've heard that before, which makes no sense to me too. But I get it. They're talking about AAA single player experiences. Xbox doesn't have enough of them, I guess, apparently, because that's what the Sony ponies really prefer is to have just that experience, I guess, whatever. But, I just thought that was funny. And, I always thought, hey, I never went down that rabbit hole with the argument of, Sony or Xbox has no games. It just sounded so ridiculous to me. I got Xbox Series X2 and I have 300 plus games on my hard drive. Like I have 300 games. You're telling me I have no games? Well, what about all of it? No, that's not the point. They'll sit there. It doesn't have this one from this studio, does it? And it's just like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm not going to argue with that. Yeah, they don't have Spider-Man. I get that, but they do have a lot of other good stuff besides that. And that's not the point of gaming to me. It's about how much fun you have with it. That's what it is. If you're not having fun with it, then yeah. But show
Yeah.
me an Xbox game that you play and that you don't have fun with. You know?
Yeah. And I've always just, I know you've always had to pay for it, but I've always just liked the online better, like the community better, I guess, is more so. And maybe it's because you had to pay. Maybe, you know, you just weeded out just the how anybody can do anyone can be online or whatever, and
Oh
it's
yeah.
just like so. I've always liked the online community more with the Xbox. I mean, I've clearly only dabbled with the PlayStation Network, very small, when I had the PS three, but
You know
but
what I
yeah.
thought was cool on there on PS3? The one thing that they did, I know we're still like off topic, but it really was something unique. I think that Sony was doing was that home, PlayStation Home.
Yeah, yeah, I remember that.
You,
Yep.
you remember that? Yeah, like that. And there was just certain things that they did with games that I still haven't been done. Like Little Big Planet. I'm a fan of Little Big Planet. I never had a PS3. The last PlayStation I had was PS1. Like literally, because I built such a huge library on PlayStation 1. That's why I kind of avoided like the Nintendo 64 era because I was still so stuck on PlayStation. And then from that, I went to Dreamcast. And then from Dreamcast, because I love the Dreamcast. That system was only like available for like a year and a half. Like that's its lifespan. It was ridiculous.
I've never played the Dreamcast.
Seriously?
Never played it.
I feel like you told me that before too, because I was
Yeah,
asking
I've
about like,
never played it. You know what? Another system I never played, which I'm pretty sure is what, if I'm not mistaken, is what Sony stemmed from is um damn it. What was it called? 3DO.
oh yeah, that was Panasonic. Yeah, that was like around the time of the Sega Saturn, I believe. That was kind of the
And I
competitor of
never
it.
played Sega Saturn, bro.
Oh, you never played the Sega Saturn?
Never
Really?
played
Wow.
Saturn, never played Dreamcast. Um the only Sega thing that I even had, I've played Sega games back in the day, but I never owned a Sega Genesis. I played it
Oh,
at other
okay.
people's house. The only Sega
Yeah,
thing I
yeah.
actually had was um the handheld joint.
Yeah, the Nomad.
No, is that what
Oh God, the Game Gear.
Game Gear?
Yeah. Okay.
Because I used to play the fuck out of Streets of Rage on that shit.
Oh yeah, yeah. That
Yeah.
was yeah, they had Streets of Rage on the Game Gear, but they actually had a portable Sega Genesis, which was called the Nomad. You literally put the cartridges right into the system and you could play Streets of Rage, the actual Genesis version anywhere. I thought that was pretty, at
Mm,
least for the time, I thought that was pretty futuristic, because you didn't
yeah.
think, you were playing Game Boy at that time. Like that's when Game Boy came out. All of a sudden you have a 16-bit, I remember the first
I had
time
a
I seen,
Game Boy.
yeah, so. I was, and I mean, it's just like, you have those conversations about kids and gaming now, and I know that's a whole nother thing, but it's just like they're always glued to their screen. But I feel like we were glued to our screen too, but we still went outside a lot, like we always
Yeah, the
had,
video, yeah, the video games. I mean, I was definitely a gamer, but it was for nighttime
yeah,
after
yeah,
after you
yeah,
were inside. Like I
yeah,
didn't sit at the TV all day long and play video games. My mom wouldn't even let me do that shit. She was like, "Go outside, play football, do some shit with the neighborhood kids." Because
yeah, yeah,
so like that's what I did. And then video gaming was nighttime or maybe weekend. Like if I had some extra time, that's pretty much what it was. Curious though, you said the last PlayStation you owned was the PS1. What's the first game you had on PS1? I'm curious.
Ridge Racer.
Really?
Yeah, man, that's like one of the main reasons that and Tekken, the first Tekken. And
Hmm.
then I remember shortly after that, they had a couple exclusives that came out, like Battle Arena Toshinden. I love Toshinden. That was
Oh
such a
damn.
cool game. That and you remember Toshinden?
I do. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. I think they made, I want to say two or three of them. They should bring that back. I think that series would do really well if they actually brought it back. But and then, yeah, I mean, there was a lot of classic, I mean, it was a lot of Namco games at the time because I think Namco was the one that was kind of backing Sony at the time to kind of help get the system out. But yeah, you know that the PlayStation originally was supposed to be designed for the Super Nintendo. It was their CD add-on, but then it didn't, break through, and then Nintendo didn't want to do certain licensing or it was something like that. So Sony's like, okay, well,
Hmm.
they already had the plans to make the console. So like, we'll just go ahead and make our own. And that's how the PlayStation came out. But I remember the buzz about that back in the day too, which is funny because they're like, oh, Sony's going to make a console. Who the hell? Who's going to support Sony? I mean, Nintendo and Sega and Atari. I mean, obviously Atari at the time fell so far down. I mean, they were just on top, which is
Yeah.
hilarious because they pretty much were Microsoft and Apple back in the day. Like that's how big they were. And it's like, what's Sony gonna do? They're gonna come in, make a console, flop, and be done. But no, they had Namco to back them up, and that's where the magic. I think that's where the magic with Sony really happened was what Namco provided for them. They had such a good creative team, amazing artists that developed a lot of those games, and yeah, but then after a while, I remember on the PlayStation, it became the problem of quantity over quality. Like there was
Hmm.
so many games, like it was just ridiculous. It's almost like you look at a phone apps and all the different apps for one certain thing, but they have like 50 million of those apps. That's kind of how gaming was getting for a minute there, and I think that kind of I think the oversaturation, I don't really know. I mean, I could find, one of those good games on Nintendo, you'd have like 50 of them on PlayStation, It's like it was insane how many different games they had. And then the PS2. But I had a question too. What was the last Indiana Jones game that even came out before this one?
Bro, I don't. Was there a game?
I know they
Was
had some on the classic like formats, like Super Nintendo and stuff like that. But I don't remember if
um.
Xbox or
I mean, let's
you know,
see. Let's see if we can find it. Games. Well, there was the Indiana Jones Lego game.
okay.
Um, there was actually a game that came out in 2009 called Indiana Jones and the Staff of Kings,
Hmm.
which was released on Nintendo DS and PlayStation 2. And
Wow.
that's the last actual video game. It was '09 was Indiana Jones Staff of Kings, then Indiana Jones the Lego game, and then before that it was all the way back to '03. There was Emperor's Tomb. I didn't even know there was this many Indiana Jones games. Indiana Jones and the Emperor's Tomb, that was 2003 on Xbox and PlayStation 1, 2 as well. That game actually got a 9 out of 10. The Emperor's Tomb game. Did you play any of these games? I've not played any of these games.
That one, nope, I haven't played it. Like I said, the last ones that at least I remember were, I know there was one on the Super Nintendo. I can't remember exactly what year that was. And then there was one for Atari and obviously Nintendo at the time, the NES, the
Holy
8-bit.
shit. Raiders of the Lost Ark came out on Atari.
Yeah, yeah, that's
I
when I
didn't even
played.
know that. That's crazy.
But oh, really?
I
Oh,
didn't
I
even
thought,
know that shit.
yeah, that was one of the games I used to love on the Atari and Empire Strikes Back. Those were just classic games. Superman and Spider-Man were cool. They were hard. It's just incredibly hard, but But yeah, Raiders of the Lost Ark was on there. But I know there was something else. And it was Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis. But I thought for sure like the 360 had one or somebody else, one of the other systems,
Yeah,
PS4.
there was lots of these. There was Fate of Atlantis that came out in '92. Indiana
Yeah, I
Jones
never.
and the Imperial Machine came out in '99. Um, Indiana Jones Last Crusade and Indiana Jones Temple of Doom both came out on Nintendo in '89 and '87.
Okay.
And then there was what the fuck is the holy shit, the Commodore 64. Yeah, wow. Like this came out on it's crazy, man. I
Yeah, the
like
Temple of Doom. Yeah, that game. I remember that. That was on quite a bit of stuff back then, you know.
yeah, so but yes, the new one I mean, I don't know, man. I don't even remember playing the Indiana Jones game until this new one, The Great Circle, which is the one released I think it was only 2 weeks ago. Week
Yeah,
ago, 2 weeks.
about 2 weeks. Yep.
2 weeks
Oh yeah.
ago, it came out straight on Game Pass for all the Game Pass people, which is super dope. I actually downloaded the game because I didn't want no glitches. Even though my cloud gaming is pretty great, actually, it's actually been pretty good to where I don't really have many glitches. Glitching happens more so in the fast-paced games. I noticed like Forza Horizon.
Oh yeah.
Uh, I there's some pixelation glitching in that game. There was also some pixelation glitching in Quarry, which I love that game.
Yeah, I haven't streamed that one yet. I gotta check that out on
You better
stream. I
hurry
know
up.
I.
It's about to be gone, bro. It's about to be
Yeah, I
gone.
know. Yeah, that was on the list. Yep. Yeah, I saw that. I was like, oh man. But
It's a good one for people that like story games. And there's exact actors in that game. Like actors actually played the parts of that game, like actors that you will recognize. Also, David Arquette plays a role in there, so it's super dope, man. I definitely suggest it. But yes, it's Indiana Jones, man. I'm definitely looking forward to getting through the game. It's probably one that I'm going to actually finish. There's a lot of games I pick up, start, don't finish. It's just how the world works for me.
Same here.
But yeah, I've definitely with the Game Pass have demoed a lot of different things, checked out a lot of different things. But you know, one of my game go-to games is clearly MK1, Mortal Kombat 1. Um, so I definitely wanted to move in to talk about that. There's a lot of controversy in the community right now about there's these leakers for people who've not followed MK1 like I do because I'm a fucking MK1 nerd. Uh, but there's a lot of leakers that came out and basically dropped the biggest heartbreak to Mortal Kombat fans that love the game, that the um, Fight Pack 3 has been canceled, as well as the story edition for year 3 of the game, because year 2 just came with an expansion, Chaos Reigns, and Fight Pack 2, which we already got Ghostface from that, along with the 3 characters that came with Chaos Reigns, Cyrax Sector, and Noob Saibot, which definitely were fan favorites. However, if you're unaware, Cyrax Sector gender swapped because it's a whole new world for the MK1. And I'm looking forward to the other 2 characters, Conan the Barbarian, we mentioned earlier, Arnold Schwarzenegger likeness, and then T1000 from the Terminator series is the other one. But I heard after that, it's done. That's what I heard. I hope it's not true. I hope somehow they sell a bunch of copies during Christmas, this sale going on or whatever for the Chaos Reigns. I hope that they sell a lot of copies so we are able to get Combat Pack 3, Fight Pack 3, because I feel like that same shit happened in Mortal Kombat 11. We were supposed to get another Fight Pack or character pack, and then the shit never happened too.
Was it? I thought they were able to finish. I thought they were able to finish out the characters that they wanted for that. Maybe I'm wrong, but I thought that they did. I think they did three as well, but I think that I thought they filled out their roster pretty good. I don't remember ever hearing of any other guest characters or anything like that, you
Except
know?
for Ash didn't work out. We were supposed to get Ash Williams.
Yeah, yeah,
That
that
was
was yeah, I
and
remember
that was
that.
something with like contracting or something. But
Yeah.
yeah, what did you think of Mortal Kombat 1? I'm curious. I mean, you
Oh
haven't played it as
man.
much as me. Like I'm like
Yeah, yeah, you're
super
definitely
in.
you're a lot deeper into that, for sure. But, I've been playing it, I play it a lot online quite a bit, get a lot of you do get a lot of cheap players, but I just, try to ride out the match as much as possible. I never quit the matches and stuff like that, but you do get quite a bit of people that like to jump out right as they're about to lose. That's so irritating. But yeah, then I definitely got further into the story. But I have noticed too with that Chaos Reigns, like I'm not sure if they changed like some of the fight mechanics. Like, were you always able to do a reversal on the not the finishing blow, but the one where you get the meter small enough, your health is small enough, and you do the double team or whatever, the finishing move. You can counter that. I've
Yeah,
never seen that.
yeah. So um, the community speaks and they listen to the community is basically what happens. So every time a new character gets brought into the spectrum, or every time a new season starts, they also do gameplay fixations where they go in, they add patch notes, they buff or weaken characters, add different things like what you're talking about. That was definitely added uh,
Oh, okay. 'Cause I
later
never
on.
see it.
So they add to the game. They've constantly added. They've added new moves for characters. I don't know if you've noticed, but there's new moves that have been added for
Yeah, I have. Every time
multiple
I play, I'm like,
characters. New cameo moves. There's been new cameo brutalities that you can that you were able to get in the shrine. Um, two brutalities for each. Two extra brutalities for each cameo character was in addition, and then there was also you can buy two new brutalities for every character in the game in the seasonal store, and they never leave the store. They're constantly there. Um, and then obviously with the Chaos Reigns, they also brought in the animalities. Last year we had, or last game we had friendships that got brought in. Now they brought back the animalities, which I love those. Those are
oh yeah,
amazing
oh yeah.
how they did the animations for those. And then they also had brought in Towers of Time, which was in Mortal Kombat 11. It's a game mode that
Oh, I
people
didn't.
liked,
Yeah.
and it's there now. So, and there's been seasonal things. So, like, not Thanksgiving, but Halloween had probably five seasonal towers where you could play through the seasonal towers whenever they're available, and then you would get free skins or palettes for different characters. And right now, the first Christmas tower dropped today, I believe, and I played through it already earlier. Didn't take much time. Usually they're based. There's two matches, two matches, a survive that's Christmas themed. I think the first one was like basically breaking a block of ice and like being an ice sculptor. You break a block of ice and you sculpt the block of ice into something as you hit it before the time runs out, and then I think then there's another match, and then there's test your might, and then maybe another survive, and the survive is just hitting a Christmas tree and presents pop out. You
Oh,
gather how
cool.
many coins or whatever, and then there's the final match for the first tower is against Quan Chi, and then if you beat him, he's the boss, so you got to fight him more than once. And then there's the intro dialogue, and when you beat him, you get his Christmas outfit.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And there's his Christmas outfit, and then there's like a ice version of him or something. It's like a all blue palette of the same uh costume that he has for Christmas time. So yeah, they're gonna drop one either every 2 days up until Christmas or something like that, or it might be every day. And there might be a new one tomorrow or the next
Oh,
day.
that's
One of those two things. So if you dive in there, if you're a avid gameplay, Mortal Kombat game player like I am, you you know, I like to collect everything. So I have every skin in the fucking game that has been in the shop
wow.
that's exclusive. I have every skin. I don't think I have every palette from every season and all that shit. I probably don't have all those, but I have every single skin that's ever come out in Mortal Kombat 1. I have all the
And
Christmas skins. I have all the Halloween skins. I have the St. Patrick's Day skins. I have the fucking
oh, nice.
uh the Thanksgiving themed skins. Fucking I got the holiday fatalities, which have never come back since they were released early in year one, and they never came back. And there was, the outlash of the community on how much they cost. So people were like, oh, I'm not buying that. And then obviously when they first came out, there was the skins that came out early were $10 skins, and people were like, I'm not fucking with that. Well, me being the fucking avid fucking collector I just bought the
Oh
shit
yeah.
anyway. So, whatever. But I actually don't play much online. I'm more of a invasions grinder, uh fucking towers of time, story mode person. Like I beat the story mode probably the first day and a half that I played. I just played right through it. I knocked out that story mode, and then Chaos Reigns I knocked out the same day I started it. Like I played the whole shit. I just couldn't stop playing it. I was like, I need to see this and finish it. Um,
So you did the same thing with Aftermath? right when you got that, you played the story and then
Mhm.
went on to the towers and okay. Yeah, yeah.
But you told me that they had the classic fucking Mortal Kombat 1 skins in Mortal Kombat 11, and I didn't even know that those even came out. I never got those. That's one thing I never got. However, in this game, I got the classic. Well, they gave you the classic Scorpion skin. I have the classic Sub Zero skin as well, and then the classic Reptile skin. And then now they came out with those movie design skins for all the ninjas. So there's a Rain, uh, Mortal Kombat 1 movie variation skin.
Oh, I didn't see that yet. I do have,
There's a Ermac one. I have all of them. I have everything. All the fucking if we ever play online, which we
oh
follow
yeah.
each other. I don't know why we haven't, but if we ever play online, like I'll just bring out some random fucking skin. You'll be like, "What the fuck is this skin?" And you're probably be like, "I never even knew this skin existed," and it's because I have every fucking skin in
Yeah,
the game.
I can guarantee you the scorpion you have, I have never seen. Whatever scorpion skin you have on right now, I probably didn't even know it existed in the game. But yeah, that and yeah, I do have the classic outfits for smoke as well. I was kind of surprised they gave it to smoke, but
They
yeah,
got that too. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool skins in the game, man. I loved what they did with the game. I thought the gameplay was amazing. I thought the graphics looked beautiful. They were amazing. But then there's that outlash in the community, and the community just hates on it so much because there's all there's people that love it that I watch that love it because they're Mortal Kombat fans. I'm one of those. I love it for what it is. I'm not one of those people that's going to complain about, oh, they're nickel and diming us, and why wasn't the game fully completed before we got it? And why can't you update this? And all the little whiny bitches in the fucking realm uh community that just whine about everything. Like just fucking play the game, enjoy it for what it is, and wait till the next game gets released. But now that since you guys complain so much about cost and about what the world is now, everything's gone up. You think gaming wasn't going to go up? Everything is more expensive in the world. So of course gaming is going to go up just like everything else. You can't whine about it and expect them to give you free shit all the time. So they've given us a lot of cool things. They've given us free skins. They've given us free shit with the towers. They've done a lot of cool shit, I think, to where they've tried to help the community out, and the community is just not buying into Chaos Reigns for $40 or $50, whatever it was. They weren't buying into it enough to a point to where they purchased enough, and WB was like, "Hey, we're fucking pulling the plug because your game didn't sell us enough units for what we need because our company is in debt. So even though it's our own fault, fuck you. We're pulling the plug on the game." That's pretty much what I think happened. Yeah.
Yeah, you're definitely right.
I'm done ranting now. I'm sorry.
And that's the thing though, is yeah, there's a lot of those people they just didn't appreciate, what they brought forth in the game. And just I think people were just expecting too much, like too fast, and they weren't getting it at the level that they wanted, so they just kind of trashed it. And it's just like it's not just a handful of people. I mean, they review bomb the shit out of it, and all of a sudden the game drops down to like a 2-star game or whatever. Like it's mind boggling because these games are clearly so much better. It's just they get trashed so much, and then yeah, I guess I mean somehow in some way it does affect those future sales or current sales or whatever sales. There's people that
Man,
just
it's
base it
so
strictly on a review. They'll say, "Oh, that website gives it a 1.5 and says that it's this trash," and then they won't even try the game. Like they'll be like, "Okay, I'll
yeah.
never even buy that." It's just like I've never been that way. I always just like to try for myself and then come up with my own opinion. But for
Yeah,
me,
it's
it's yeah, especially Mortal Kombat. They put so much love and hard work into those games, and I mean, graphically, just gameplay wise, there's just
like
so
a
many levels that it's phenomenal. Where are you getting all this garbage from? You
yeah,
know?
like how can you be negative at this? This game looks amazing.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
it's
it's
one of
good.
the most beautiful fighting games I've ever seen in my whole life. And then to
Yeah,
to mix how beautiful the game is in with all the blood, guts, and gore of a typical Mortal Kombat and making that shit look so realistic. I remember my daughter popped in the room when Mortal Kombat 1 came out right away, and I'm like, hey, the new Mortal Kombat's out. Look at this. Because they played Mortal Kombat 11. They know it's not real shit. They like the game's cool, whatever. But I remember my oldest daughter popped in the room and she sees it and she's like, "Oh, that makes my stomach turn. Like that looks so realistic." And it did. Like the blood is so real. The gore is so real. Like it's the way they made the game look. There's nothing comparable to that. There's nothing that's come out that's looked as good as that. Mortal Kombat 11 looked great. This shit looked fucking better. So the fact that they made what Mortal Kombat 11 was look even better for Mortal Kombat 1 and you fuckers out there are hating it is ridiculous.
yeah.
That's crazy to me. I can't fathom it in my head at all. I don't get it. But I could talk more. I could talk a whole episode of Mortal Kombat. So we don't need to do that. I was actually thinking of reaching out to obviously uh one of the most controversial Mortal Kombat reviewers, Dynasty. I do like Dynasty. I'm not even hating. I
I
was
was gonna ask you
actually
about
asking
that.
him to, I was gonna reach out to him and have a whole episode where we could just talk to him about the situation, and then maybe have an episode where we bring in the Kenny Baum, who loves the game like I do and loves everything about it, and see that contrast go on. You know what I'm saying? Like be able to talk to those people that have their own opinions on things. I think it would be crazy. But
Oh yeah, oh
but
yeah.
regardless of that, uh you're a gamer, I'm a gamer. What are you playing now? Aside from Indiana Jones. What other
Oh, aside,
games? What other games are you fucking with?
well, yeah, I still like to play the good old fighting game. So Tekken 8 is another one that I do play. Get to play that online with my brother sometimes. We get a couple matches in on that. Street Fighter 6, they're kind of lagging too on their characters, but I mean, it gets annoying when you get these classic fighting games that come out and they're not coming out with the original characters that were in the game, and they still lock them behind all these different passes. But it's just like you get three, four passes in, and you're still missing like four or five key characters that were part of the original game. They should automatically be in there, but
Who was it in Street Fighter? I have Street Fighter 6. I've literally played it for like 2 days and I got rid of it off my system. Who who are the characters that were not in the base? Who are the characters that were not in the base?
well, at the time it was, I don't think Dawson was playable right away. Blanca wasn't available.
Really?
Um,
I thought both of them were playable. I thought I
No,
played
not,
with
not
Dawson.
right away. Not in the beginning. They came as DLC characters. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure Blanca did. Sagat, he's not playable yet. He should have been in there day one. I don't know why he's a DLC character. It makes
Is
no
Ball
sense
is
to me.
Balrog in it?
No, he's not in it yet either. I don't think. Or
And
Vega. I don't think
and
Vega.
Vega was one of my favorites of all time. How
Yeah,
do you not have how do you not have Vega in it?
they just put M Bison in there. So it's just like he should have been in there day one too. Like I think all those characters that, should have been day one, that's not something to microtransact ever. They should automatically or just make them available after you beat the arcade mode or something like you used to, just and then at least keep the game having that extra amount of characters that you can just grind and get, and then keep all the newer characters for your DLC. So then the original OG players that want to use those characters already have them available because they unlocked them in the game. But that doesn't happen. Like, doesn't work like that anymore, and I get it, but it's kind of
Yeah.
frustrating. But
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 yeah,
yeah,
I
speaking,
I I
oh, I'm
bought
gonna.
it. I bought it. It was gone 2 days later. I took it off my system. I played it for
But
2 days. I was like, you know what?
what didn't you like about it though? Like, I
It's
mean,
it's so Street Fighter 2 um Championship Edition arcade is my classic shit. I used to play the fuck out of that shit at the arcade nonstop, fighting against people in the arcade. Ryu, Ken, uh, all that shit. And even though the graphics weren't as great back then, that shit was mad fun to me. I don't know why. I don't know why it was, but now the game is just not as fun to me. I don't know what it is. Like I thought their little the tour mode was dumb. I
Yeah,
thought that shit
yeah,
was
definitely.
stupid.
Yeah, it was. That actually was. They could have done without that whole thing, or just done something a little bit different, But yeah, yeah, I definitely agree on that.
Yeah, like I just didn't. I'm not an online fighter. Like there's the pro players that are gonna be online, beat everyone's ass, and join
Oh yeah,
tournaments. I'm not gonna be that. I don't care enough to perfect a fighting game to that point. Back in the arcade, I was nice. I was nice with the arcade joystick, Ryu Ken Hadouken fights. I could do that shit all fucking day. But like, I just don't. There's so many combos now. There's so many additions. There's so many new moves. I'm not trying to be an online superstar gamers now. I only play games
yeah.
for the leisure and fun for myself. Otherwise, if I played it for to be a pro player, I would be an online gamer and maybe I wouldn't work at the place that we work at. I don't know. But, you know, that's my take on Street Fighter. I'm not saying it's a bad game. I'm not saying it was bad. It looked great for what it was. It looks good. It's cool. Um like you said though, I mean, why was the original Street Fighter 2 or why was the original roster not already a part of the whole like they should have been completely in the game. And then you put your little add-ons from the other games that were cool
Yep,
characters. Like but the
yep.
original cast that everyone remembers from that era cuz that was like one of the craziest fighting games ever back in the day. Like everyone loved that shit. Like there was Mortal Kombat that you played in the arcade and then there's this shit and then there was like the Pit Fighter game, right?
Oh yeah,
There
yeah. I
was like
remember that.
those fighting games in the arcade that everyone loved and then a little bit after that we got the Tekken and then we got the Soul Calibur in the arcade
Oh,
and
yeah, you're missing the Virtual Fighter. That was the
Virtual
first
Fighter.
one.
And speaking of Virtual Fighter, did you see the new trailer?
Exactly. That's why I brought it up because they're definitely going to break some new ground, I think, with this new Virtual Fighter game. It's been a long time, I think a long time in the making. And I think with this one, it's going to be interesting what they pull off. I seen one of the directs with one of original, the original creators of the first game. I mean, he's obviously behind the scenes now on it. It's a new development team that's making it, but he was pretty excited about it and he was speaking about it, about his vision that he had at that time is actually more realized with the technology they have now,
Mm,
mainly because of hit detection. So the hit detection in this one, I don't know if you caught it in the trailer. It's so fast because they only show you a glimpse.
I don't know if I caught
At
that.
when Akira he throws the person through the wall, and then right after that he fights Sarah for us for a quick scene. It's like he does a couple punches at her,
Yeah.
it goes to slam her or throw her or whatever like that. But if you notice, and I caught it right away when he throws his first punch in, she blocks it normally. He throws another one, and then she blocks it differently. And every single time that he's striking, her arms are moving in a different, pattern. So it's like actually following the block instead of just blocking one position and it's constantly the same. She even picks up her leg at the sweep, and then does a little hop at the other sweep. It's real subtle, but that's just like I said, it's just in the blocking, but it looks more like a choreographed fight, you know. It'll be
Yeah,
interesting. We'll
I'm
see.
yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. I think it should be cool. Also, there was something else announced at the Video Game Awards. You said you're playing Tekken. I'm not. I honestly, I haven't even played Tekken 8. Like when Mortal Kombat came out, I was like, I gotta decide. I gotta decide. I can't fuck with each of them. There's just too much going on. So I
Yeah,
went Mortal Kombat. I haven't even touched Tekken 8 at all. But there's a new character. Was that the final? Is there a Final Fantasy character coming into Tekken 8? Is
yeah,
that what's happening?
yeah. I believe that is a Final Fantasy character because it had me thinking. I was like, where did I see a Final Fantasy character just recently in a Namco fighter? But it was what was that? Soul Calibur had the yeah, or was it the last Tekken? One of them had the Final Fantasy character Noctis,
Mm.
and he had like the sword. That's who I thought this was in the new one, but I think it's somebody else. I'm not too familiar with the Final Fantasy series. I never really got into those too much, but and I'm not familiar with the characters, but I do believe that one is one of them from a crossover.
Clive Rossfield.
Clive, that's it. Yeah,
Yes,
and they usually
Clive.
do pretty good. You know, I think they do pretty well when they cross them over like that.
Uh, and they're saying even more Final Fantasy characters could be added to Tekken 8. So it's cool.
Oh, okay.
I mean, how big is the roster for Tekken 8? Like I said, I haven't even
Yeah,
touched
it's
the game.
huge. Yeah, that one's huge. And that one by when it first came out, I think it had a pretty good amount of characters and still didn't have every single original character, but you know, I mean,
I mean, who
they
was
bring
missing?
them.
Who was missing?
I think when it came out, like Yoshimitsu wasn't playable.
That's
Like
insane. That
it,
doesn't make any sense.
exactly. Yoshimitsu should be he should always be in there. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that he was missing from the roster in the beginning. Like, why? This doesn't make any sense to me. But you know,
Yeah. Um, I'm currently I play a lot of sports games on the side. So the shit I'm fucking with right now is Undisputed. They just came out with a DLC called the Problem Child Pack, which fucking. If you hate Jake Paul and you want to beat the shit out of Jake Paul, get the Problem Child Pack just so you can beat the shit out of Jake Paul because he's in Undisputed. They made him way too good
wow.
though. They made him way too good in the game. Um, and here's the thing, like Jake Paul doesn't want to get his ass beat by someone like Muhammad Ali, right? So he's only available in the like only one division. And it's like
What?
it's with not that many fighters. So like you can only beat his ass with like Roy Jones or something.
Really?
Yeah, like there's
Huh.
not they're like that like there's I mean there's some other people in there, but they're like not that I think damn there's another Enzo. Enzo you could beat his ass with Enzo, you beat his ass with Roy Jones. But like aside from that, there's not like all the other fighters are like almost below him and they're not like I wanted to beat the fuck out of Jake Paul with like Riddick Bowe or like fucking
Yeah.
or like Buster Douglas they added into the game. Like I want to beat Jake Paul's ass with Buster Douglas. You can't. You fucking
Oh, that
can't do it.
doesn't that yeah, that doesn't make any sense. Wow.
Yeah. So I don't think there's enough. I mean, it's a typical boxing game. There's no story mode. It's just a career mode. So I think it's lacking with a story mode like how EA Sports Fight Night got around to building the story mode towards the end of their shit, which I thought was super dope. Maybe we'll get a Fight Night again in the future since Undisputed is kind of the only living boxing game going on. But it looks beautiful. It looks great. The fighters look great. Um, I am playing a season right now. I think 23-2 with 22 knockouts. Uh, I fucked up everyone. The only person I lost to was Joe Louis, fucking 2 times. Lost to Joe Louis, the legendary Joe Louis, 2 fucking times. Like that dude has the most stamina ever in life. Like I would make it all the way through the whole fucking match, and then like the eighth round, he's fucking me up, putting me
And
down.
this is with a career boxer,
Yeah.
or is this with?
So you can either create a boxer and go through a career and build them up, or you can pick a boxer from the roster and go through a career with them. And like I said, I was excited they put Buster Douglas in there, so I started a career with Buster Douglas, and I'm 23-2. I have the IBF championship right now, I believe, and my next fight is actually for the unification. So our own, not all the belts. I think our own 3 belts, and then the WBA belt is owned by someone else that's on the very top. So it's like I'm in a unification fight to get the other 2 belts, but not the WBA. So I have to fight one more to get the unification of all 4 belts. But like, I mean, I had crazy matches with like Deontay Wilder, like beat his ass for a belt, and then there was like a rematch clause, so I had to fight him again, and then he was harder, but I still beat his ass again. Like he's a swing for the fences hitter, so like you could attack the body on the game. Like it's very realistic boxing game. Um you definitely want to attack the body before you throw the hard hitters to the head and do the combinations, but it's a beautiful game, man. Any boxing fans out there, I highly recommend. Also, the other game I go back and forth with is, and now that we're in college football season playoffs, is college football EA Sports. It just came back out. It was gone for mad years. They just brought it back out this year, College Football 25, and I think it's the start of another legacy of that because I already think they're planning 26. So now that they were able to get the likeness and the players involved, um, we're going to see that again. I hope they revitalize uh, college basketball again because I love that. But from what I heard, that's not a green light. But the college
Yeah,
football game's amazing. I love that. So those are the
that'd be
games
cool
I'm
to see.
playing. Those are the ones I'm playing. I did fuck with the game you told me to fuck with, the seafood game, which was dope. But I told you what happened.
Yeah,
Like
that's why. Did you find out if your guy's 80 years old yet?
no,
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 I'm
he's
not.
not.
Like I said, I'm not.
He's not that old. He's not that old.
No,
But
but I wanted to, yeah, I wanted to ask you too on the Series S. Does it have the quick resume on there where you can go
yep.
back and forth between?
Hmm.
Okay, good, good. Yeah, because that's one of the features that I definitely thought was next gen. I think that's pretty cool, and I just want to make that comparison because I think it's funny because I was playing Indiana Jones. And the beginning scene, I hate trying to just give out spoilers, but it's still just the scene in the beginning of the game. But when you're following the guy and then the guy doesn't, he's pretty much just trying to lure you in there to get the jewel. So as soon as you get the jewel, then he takes off running with it. And that scene, there was that part when he takes off and he's like, "Well, give me the whip," and he's like, screw you, and he takes off, and then leaves the whip and India hanging there, and then Indiana finds a way out. And as soon as he crosses that gate, he sees him, when the camera pans on his face real close up and he has the spikes going through him. That was just one of those moments that's like, wow, this is just really grabbed me. That's something that just happens in a movie. It's just like, and you get that experience in a game. Because I kind of had a feeling too. I'm like, oh, this guy, once he turns his back on Indiana Jones and tries the wrong way, I don't think he's going to make it out. And obviously he did. But, anyways,
Yeah.
so I quick resumed to Mortal Kombat. And in Mortal Kombat, I'm at the scene with Johnny Cage where he's doing the Indiana Jones thing. You remember that scene? I don't
Yep.
remember what the name of. Yeah, I don't remember what the name of the movie was. And I'm like, hey, this is kind of weird. It's
Yeah.
like fits the.
That's where he fights the Kali Ma guy.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
uh,
yeah, I wanted to ask about that character too because he's not playable in the game, right?
you can get the skin.
And who is their skin on though? That's because
That's
I thought that
it's Havoc.
that's okay. That's
Yeah,
I
yeah.
thought it was, but I'm like, that doesn't look like his some of his moves though. That looks like a completely different character. I
Yeah,
wonder if
so
he's
it's
playable.
yeah, so it's Havoc and just like the demon chicks and in the new season of Invasions, the demon chicks from that movie scene, that's Natara's character, and now you can get those skins or palettes for her now. I think they're skins actually,
Oh,
because
okay.
it's a whole different variation of her. So you can get those skins now in the Invasions seasons that's out now. I know you don't really uh play the Invasions like that, but like because it's a grind. I mean, you have to grind the fuck out of it to play it, but that's where you get all that shit, like all those palettes,
Yeah.
all those skins. Like there's exclusive skins in there, and then there's also palettes. Like you probably don't even have. Have you beaten any Invasions or no?
Just the beginning part of it. I didn't really get too far into it,
So
but
you haven't even so you don't even have the Scorpion.
no, no, I'm still in the cage mansion in the beginning. Like I
Oh
haven't even,
shit,
yeah,
bro. So yeah, so
yeah, yeah,
oh, so you haven't played no Invasion. So the thing is
yeah.
like
No,
if you played like season one, season two, season three, season four, if you've played all these, you get when you fight the boss of each Invasion season, that's an exclusive version of that person. So like this is how cool the Mortal Kombat shit is. Like I can't believe how many people hate on this shit. Like Invasions is dope because it's like a grind, and then when you're done with the grind, you get an exclusive skin for free. How
yeah,
you hating on it? Like the Scorpion skin is the Hanzo Hisashi skin, which is Scorpion with the fucking Scorpion, um, uh, the fucking what the fuck is it on the Scorpion? The fucking why can't I think of it right now? The fucking
little
the vet.
pincers,
No, not the
the
pincher.
tail.
The tail. What is it? What's the venom? The fucking spear? Whatever the fuck.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
so the first boss is the Hanzo Hisashi joint, and it's like the scorpion skin with the venom shit sticking up off the shoulders. And then he's got more of them on his knees. Like it's cold. It's super dope. And that's free. And then there's like the exclusive Sub Zero skin when you do the Sub Zero one and the Sub Zero match.
I didn't see that yet.
For people that uh are a fan of the new Mortal Kombat movie, which I thought that was super dope. But if you're a fan of that, the way that you kill Sub Zero in the Invasion's end boss part is the same way that Sub Zero gets killed in the movie. That's dope. That's crazy.
Oh yeah,
And then you get that exclusive skin. So that's what I'm saying. Like, there's all these exclusive skins that people could just get shit for free, and everybody's sitting there complaining about the nickel and diming, but they're giving you all this
yeah.
free shit. You just have to grind to get it. So,
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's what it is, man. But yeah, those are the games I'm playing, man. Obviously, we talked Indiana Jones, The Great Circle, that's out there right now for people that want to fuck with that. Make sure you go check that shit. Mortal Kombat 1, hopefully, it still has a life force behind it. I don't want to see it die after this Fight Pack 2. I hope it keeps going. Like, that's one of my favorites. Otherwise, if it dies off, hopefully the next game they make is Mortal Kombat 2 or 13 or whatever the fuck number we're on. Um, so hopefully that's the next ship because from what I heard through WB, since WB is bankrupt, um, and trying to only go with franchises that are making money, like, you know, I heard Injustice 3 is not the next game coming from,
What? Really?
yeah,
I
I heard
thought it
that's,
for sure. Wow.
no, I heard that's not it. So I heard we might get another Mortal Kombat game instead of that because Mortal Kombat did decent as opposed to the other games they were pushing. Like Suicide Squad did terrible. I heard it bombed, terrible bombing. Which I thought the game was cool. I
Oh yeah.
I didn't beat the game, but I beat all of uh the the taken over superheroes. Uh but I didn't even get to the first DLC. I didn't get the Joker. I never downloaded any. I didn't get any of that. But I heard they canceled everything else for that whole game because it did so poorly. Um and then there was the multiverses, which I liked a lot at the start, but I heard that game's dead now too. Like because they lost so much money putting so much money into that, and nobody wanted to pay for the DLCs or any of that shit. So um, that game's dead. Like now, from what I heard. So I don't know if there's going to be many more seasons of that for the people that are multiverses fans. I'm sorry, but I think that one's. I think it's fucking Lifeline's gone for that. So it's a weird time for video games. What before we get out of here for the first Crack the Code podcast, which is just been super dope, man. Denku and Roman in the fucking house. Uh, what are you looking forward to as far as the next games that are supposed to be dropping? What's something you're looking forward to coming out?
I think for me, at least I think on the Xbox platform, and I'm not even sure exactly what the date is for it, but the new Gears game definitely going to be something I think that's going to be pretty interesting. I think that's supposed to be another like a prequel to the whole story, and
Mm.
I think if they utilize the graphics the best they can and gameplay, I mean, yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that one. I don't think GTA is coming next year, so it's gonna be quite a while for that one still. So
Which sucks because that's what I'm looking forward to. But
um,
if it drops next year, I don't know if it's going to, but they did a preview of it. Um, I'm excited about it. The new Witcher game
oh yeah,
looks amazing. I loved Witcher 3, so
tough
I
game too.
very tough game. Yes. And it's a grind. Grind like Elden Ring, which I definitely if you
I
ask me
haven't.
what if you ask me what happens later on in Elden Ring, I will have no answer for you whatsoever because that game is ridiculous. Like I have it, I tried it for a while to build my character up to get it to a point to where I can fight other things. That shit's fucking hard, man. Like I know there's people out there that spend their whole fucking day playing that shit. Kudos to you. I can't do it. Way too much. It's just like the people that fucking play Skyrim all day. I don't know. I don't know how you can do it, but those games are a grind. Like I've never even did you play did you get through the Dragon Age games? I've never even played those. Like those are a
Oh yeah,
grind.
yeah,
Those are a grind, right?
yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. I played the last one, Origins, and then I just started playing Veilguard. Actually, yeah, that's one of the other ones I'm getting into right now. That one is it's definitely tough, but definitely worth the challenge. I mean, I don't think it's as hard as like a Dark Souls or anything like that, but or the one that I've been having issues too is Sekiro. Have you ever played that one? Sekiro? That one was from like a couple of years back. But
I don't
yeah,
know if
there's
I have.
yeah, it's similar to the Dark Souls, but I mean, there's a guy that he played that game so much that he got one of the speed run records in this. He played it blindfolded. He played it by listening to the cues, all sound cues.
Mm.
and just destroyed the game. I'm like, how that I can't even get past the first boss, and you're sitting there beating it blindfolded, you know. But
What's that game that you put me onto that I did end up playing it, that the Senua,
oh,
what's
Hellblade, yeah, Hellblade 2,
that
Senua's
shit
Sacrifice.
is insane.
Well, you play it with the headphones too,
Bro, with
man.
the
That's
headphones, in the dark by myself, scariest shit I ever played in my whole life. Bloody ass game,
I
creepy as
can't believe
shit.
it, man. Yeah, I
Creeping
would never
through,
play that.
creeping through the fucking village with all the blood and guts everywhere. You don't know what's going on. You just hear these voices going on in your head, and you get lost in a fucking weird village, and a demon voice pops out of nowhere, and you still got the
Yeah,
crazy voices all in your head. I'm like, man, if I was a schizo, I would probably run my head into a wall.
but some amazing graphics. So that was one thing that
It's real
really,
amazing. It's
yeah,
so realistic. It's crazy as fuck. But um, but yeah, man. GTA is definitely what I'm looking forward to. But I would definitely say Witcher, the new Witcher.
yeah,
I'm looking forward to coming out. And yeah. So with that being said, this has been Crack the Code, episode 1. Denku Roman. Again, recap. We talked about Indiana Jones: The Great Circle, which is out there right now, dropped about 2 weeks ago. Go check that out. I definitely recommend it. Also, for Mortal Kombat heads, we talked about that. We talked about the controversies, things coming. Um, Hopefully, it still has a lifeline. If not, we're gonna move on to the next shit, obviously. But Mortal Kombat 1 for the fucking fighter game enthusiasts, I definitely recommend that game to y'all. Um, I'm playing Undisputed. I'm playing college football. Roman is playing Tekken 8 still and playing uh Street Fighter. Still playing Street Fighter.
oh yeah, here and there, not as
Yeah.
much though. Dragon Age, I mean,
Dragon
that's a big
Age.
one right now for
Yeah.
me. Yeah,
So, definitely go check out the games that we're fucking with if you want to see what we're really talking about. But obviously until next time, man, you know, when new games come out, when new things are played, when we have more things that we want to touch on in the gaming community, we will hit y'all again with a Crack the Code podcast. So if you enjoyed this, hopefully you tune into our next one. This has been episode 1, Crack the Code. Thank you and Roman. We appreciate y'all to the fullest. And
appreciate you.
until next time, we are out of here, yo. So peace.
Game on.